In the past, space exploration was the domain of superpowers. NASA, Roscosmos, and other government agencies led the charge, backed by billions in taxpayer dollars and driven by Cold War rivalries. But that era is giving way to something new. A space age powered by private innovation, entrepreneurial ambition, and a bold vision for interplanetary commerce. Welcome to the era of private spaceflight. Private space exploration isn't entirely new. As early as 1984, U.S. President Ronald Reagan signed the Commercial Space Launch Act, encouraging private companies to develop and launch their own rockets. Since then, satellites have become central to our everyday lives, powering GPS, internet connectivity, and global communication. But today's private space race is different. It's no longer just about low Earth orbit or satellite networks. It's about reaching Mars and staying there. Companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and others are investing heavily in reusable rockets, long-duration life support systems, and even interplanetary habitats. SpaceX's Starship, for example, is designed specifically with Mars colonization in mind. It's the largest and most ambitious rocket ever built, with the capacity to carry humans and cargo across deep space. What makes private companies so uniquely positioned for this mission? Agility, innovation, and motivation. Where governments are often limited by politics, budgets, and bureaucracy, private firms move fast. They iterate quickly, absorb failure as part of learning, and focus on long-term goals. Elon Musk famously stated that his goal for SpaceX is to make life multi-planetary. That's not just a slogan. It's a mission statement backed by billions of dollars and a growing army of engineers, scientists, and visionaries. Blue Origin, founded by Jeff Bezos, takes a slightly different approach. Their motto, Gradatim ferociter, step by step ferociously, reflects a slower but equally ambitious roadmap. Their long-term vision also involves lunar and Martian settlement, built on a foundation of reusable rockets and sustainable infrastructure. Infinity Beyond recognizes the massive impact this shift has on the future of Mars exploration. Private space companies bring more than rockets. They bring a new mindset, one focused on accessibility, scalability, and even profitability. Space tourism, asteroid mining, off-world data centers. These ideas are no longer science fiction. They're business models in development. Critics argue that space should not be commercialized, that celestial bodies should remain free of profit motives. Others point out the risk of inequality, where only the wealthy have access to off-world opportunities. These are valid concerns, and they must be addressed through regulation, ethical frameworks, and international cooperation. But the reality is, private companies are accelerating humanity's path to Mars faster than governments ever did. And if done responsibly, their contributions could benefit all of Earth. Another reason private industry matters: cost reduction. In the past, launching payloads into space cost tens of thousands of dollars per kilogram. Thanks to reusable rockets and streamlined production, that cost is plummeting. The more affordable spaceflight becomes, the more likely it is that everyday people, scientists, artists, doctors, will get a chance to participate in Mars missions. And with that participation comes diversity, innovation, and a richer future for all. Beyond rockets, private companies are also working on habitats, life support systems, Mars suits, and in-situ resource utilization technologies. These include machines that can turn Martian air into breathable oxygen, extract water from soil, or even 3D print structures using local materials. The goal? Make Mars not just visitable, but livable. But what happens when business meets biology? When Earth's economy stretches across millions of kilometers of empty space? New questions arise. Will Martian colonies have their own currencies? Who will govern these settlements? Corporations, nations, or international coalitions? Will laws written on Earth apply to a world so far away? Space law is still evolving. Treaties like the Outer Space Treaty of 1967 prohibit nations from claiming ownership of celestial bodies, but they're vague on commercial rights, resource mining, and private governance. As we push toward Mars, these legal gray areas will demand clarity. One possibility is a Martian Charter, a new kind of constitution created by future settlers and backed by Earth's nations. This would ensure fair access, sustainability, and human rights across Mars. At Infinity Beyond, we believe private spaceflight should be guided by three principles: responsibility, inclusivity, vision. Responsibility means ensuring technology is safe, tested, and focused on benefit, not just profit. Inclusivity means opening space to more than the ultra-rich. Scientists, students, artists, and dreamers should all have a place in the new space age. And vision means looking beyond quarterly profits toward a future where Mars is not a playground for the powerful, but a new home for humanity. The next person to walk on Mars may not be a government-trained astronaut, but a private citizen funded by a corporation, riding a rocket designed by engineers who once built electric cars or cloud servers. That future is not decades away. It may be closer than we think.